Good morning to you and welcome. This is Developing Stories at this hour on Osrc television. My name is Oyewumi Ayinigbara. President Bola Tinubu has appointed Major General Olufemi Olatubosun Oluyede as the new Chief of Army Staff. A statement by the presidential spokesman Bayo Nanuga said Oluyede will hold sway as it was pending the return of and is receiving treatment abroad. Until his appointment, Oluyede served as the 56th commander of the Elite Infantry Corps of the Nigerian Army based in Jaji, Kaduna. The 56-year-old Oluyede and Alagbaja were housemates and members of the 39th Regular Corps. The Senate has confirmed the appointment of all 7 ministerial nominees of President Bola Tinubu submitted to the upper chamber last week for accelerated consideration. Among the appointees was Bianca Ojukwu, former beauty queen, diplomat, and widow of the late Biafran leader Odumegu Ojukwu. Representing Anambra State, Ojukwu's nomination as Minister of State for Foreign Affairs drew significant attention, particularly from senators representing Nigeria's Southeast region, who praised the historic move as a sign of unity and reconciliation. Ojukwu was confirmed along with 6 others, first of whom was Dr. Netawe Iwata, followed by Mohammed Dingyadi and Yusuf Atta. Others are Idi Maya, Olajumoke Oduwole from Lagos State, and Subwaya Ahmed. The confirmation of the 7 new ministerial nominees follows President Bola Tinubu's recent reshuffle of his cabinet, which saw the dismissal of 5 of his cabinet members, and with the confirmation of the 7 new members of the Senate, expectations are high. It will be enough to inject the right impetus into the government. Ondo State chapter of the Inter-Party Advisory Council (IPAC) has passed the vote of confidence on the Resident Electoral Commissioner (REC) of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mrs. Oluwatoyin Babalola, ahead of the November 16 governorship election. Chairman of the council, Mr. Olaoluwa Adesoya, dissociated the body from the protest over the removal of Mrs. Babalola from conducting the next election. Details as presented from our studios.
Addressing newsmen, the chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council (IPAC) in Ondo State, Olaoluwa Adesoya, said there was no need for the removal of INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner in the state, Oluwatoyin Babalola, before the November 16 governorship election. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) had earlier called for the removal of the Resident Electoral Commissioner, alleging her of having vested interest in the election. Also, a youth group stormed the INEC office in Abuja to call for the removal of the REC. In response to all these moves, Adesoya said IPAC has carried out its comprehensive findings on the matter, with the conclusion that there was no need for the removal of Mrs. Babalola before the poll. IPAC affirmed that INEC in Ondo State, under the watch of the State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Mrs. Oluwatoyin Babalola, has carried the council along in all the commission's activities for the forthcoming November 16 governorship election.
That the alleged connivance of the state REC with any political party so subvert the coming November 16, 2024 governorship election is false and cannot be substantiated whatsoever. At the level of IPAC, we know the level of neutrality of the REC, and she has been telling us that she has no interest in any individual or any political party.
Mr. Adesoya maintained that IPAC has absolute confidence in the ability of the State Resident Electoral Commissioner to conduct a free, fair and credible election in November.
IPAC on those states have absolute confidence in the ability of the State Resident Electoral Commission, Mrs. Oluwatoyin Babalola, to to conduct free, fair, credible, and conclusive elections in the forthcoming November 16, 2024 governorship election in Ondo State. IPAC in Ondo State hereby advise the national chairman of INEC, Professor Yakubu, to ignore the call for the redeployment of Ondo State Reg.
The Inter-Party Advisory Council therefore called on security agents to monitor and arrest hired political thugs that may disrupt peace before, during, and after the governorship election in Ondo State.
The House of Representatives has called on the Independent National Electoral Commission to relocate 8 local government offices to neutral, secured locations to uphold the Commission's integrity. This request came after a motion presented by Sunday Namichi, representing LP Enugu, during plenary in Namchi, cited Section 157 of the Constitution, which guarantees INEC's autonomy and independence in overseeing national elections. According to him, this proximity exposes INEC to manipulation and control by council chairmen, particularly in areas dominated by a single political party. Hence the need to maintain public trust and confidence in the electoral processes. In response, Speaker Tajuddin Abbas directed the committee on INEC and relevant stakeholders to ensure compliance with the motion and report back to the House for further legislative action. Also, the House of Representatives has urged the federal government to withdraw airstrip licenses already issued to private individuals and organizations and stop issuance of new ones in the interest of national security. The resolutions were sequel to the adoption of a motion sponsored by the member representing Gumi Bukuyum Federal Constituency of Zamfara State, Abubakar Gumi. Justifying the importance of the motion, Gumi during Wednesday's plenary noted recently the federal government through the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, confirmed the approval of an airstrip for Living Faith Church situated on Kenaland in Ota, Ogun State. The House is concerned that the country currently experiences security challenges through illegal importation, proliferation of firearms and ammunition, importation of illicit hard drugs, coupled with inability of security agencies to pinpoint the source of supply of weapons to insurgents, kidnappers, and separatists that have massacred thousands of Nigerians across the country. He argued that granting airstrip to private individuals and organizations will aid illegal importation of firearms and hard drugs into the country, thus heighten insurgency, kidnapping, banditry, and other vices that are seriously affecting the socio-economic development of the country. However, the Speaker ruled in favor of the motion as the House urged the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development to stop the issuance of airstrip licenses to private individuals and organizations, and asked the government to withdraw approvals already granted to private individuals and organizations to safeguard national security. And on the foreign scene, Elon Musk has been ordered to appear in court today in response to a lawsuit concerning $1 million payment made by his political campaign group to voters in key battleground states during the U.S. election. Earlier this month, Musk's campaign group, America Park, began distributing this payment, which critics claim is an improper and potentially illegal tactics to increase support and turnout for former President Donald Trump, whom Musk endorses. On Monday, Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Kirchner filed a lawsuit aiming to halt the American Park sweepstakes, which will run until Election Day. The sweepstakes is open to any registered voter in battleground states who agrees to sign a petition supporting the Constitution. According to the Associated Press, Matthew Avestick, one of the attorneys representing the defendant, did not confirm Musk's attendance at the hearing. Musk announced his support for